sleepier than usual because daylight savings happened and I didn't know. Seems like a lot of people didn't know. I wonder if it's because there's a conspiracy that there's Here. Welcome, motherfuckers. I watched something recently that I think you should check out. What's that, D-Rock? I'm not D-Rock anymore, now I'm D-Ray. Oh, okay. And I'll leave that up to you the rest of the way. I don't know. It's kind of how I like my people to find my channels. Just look at this. Look what's sitting here. Check that out. And I'll just leave it at that. But what I found interesting, I just watched his latest video. And to me, it is so interesting. So this channel is this guy's channel. It's his own life, and in each video of late, is he kind of talking about some of the things that happened to him because of his, I hate to say it, I really do, schizophrenia. And the issues that have happened with that, you know, and the latest video clearly says like homelessness and stuff. So, and I watched it, right? And I find for myself so much similarities, but such a opposite like outcome. It almost blows my mind when I'm hearing, like, we're talking about a guy here who's creating at the time he was creating what would he describe as a book of this universal knowledge and being a conduit to it, and then it kind of having a negative, it sounds like at least in this video, a negative outcome, and nothing seemed to go right. And the weird thing is, I'm doing the exact same thing, but I've not had such a negative outcome, this is what's really weird. This is why I think he's sane to me. I think the most sane person in the room. Now, I found that in my life, since I'll kind of go off, it's like a reaction to that video, let's say it like that. In my life, I found that it's very, very similar in the aspect of, at one point, I felt this call. It was like 2012-ish. One time, this is gonna sound so weird, but this is true. I was playing music in a band with my friends. I was just a simpleton, at least at that time. I didn't know much about life. I never had gone out, and this was my first time going out in life and doing stuff with these guys, these two ex-Marines, and we would just play music together. And that's all I cared about. And then one day, I don't remember what happened previous to that day. I think I was going out we were working on an album, and I was like, okay, I was laying in my parents' living room couch because I didn't have a place at the time. And I closed my eyes and I had the most serene experience, and I've always described it as I accidentally meditated one time. And after that, my road was set. And all of a sudden, I just wanted to write stuff in these journals. I've talked about them before. And I would just continuously write things in them, and I wanted to make up a world. I wanted to make up a place to go, I guess. I don't know. I just wanted to make a fantasy for my own. And it was slowly just turned from, I'm just making up a little fantasy, and this is my own little fucking world, to this fucking matters. Because I didn't hear voices, like a bunch of them all the time. I would hear my voice and stuff, and maybe there were others, I don't know. I really don't know whose voices they were. Because at the end of the day, like, what is your inner voice? Is that even yours? What if a voice talks a little bit differently? What if you don't hear it in sound? I don't know. I have no clue. But anyway, so that's like a whole thing to fucking get into. But I felt this compellation I felt compelled to do this book. And so eventually, and I was trying to go to school. I was walking, God knows how many miles, to go to college, and I would take these English classes just to kind of show me how to write a little bit better, show me how to fucking do this writing thing, because I didn't know how to do it. I hated writing, I hated reading. But here I am doing something that is out of my wheelhouse, I never wanted to do, and I have no skill in it. I have no love for it, and it's so weird to think about. Like, just imagine, like, one day all of a sudden you want to do this thing that you never wanted to before, you never had any aspirations to do, and you hate doing it. But somehow there's a thing telling you have to do this. So I did. And I went to these schools, and I went to, what would I word that? I would go on these long walks in the middle of fucking summer, and because I had no car, I had no bike, I had no nothing, I had no money. And I was just walking to this fucking school. And it would take me a few hours to get there. So I would have to take these like waypoint breaks. And I remember I took a little waypoint break at this little park or something, I guess it was. Like you pull off the road, and it's just like, it's not really even a park, it's just you park a couple cars there and you look, kind of thing. And I meditated, trying to calm myself. And I heard a voice tell me, "You are a conduit." And that's all it told me. It didn't say anything else. It wasn't like, and then by the way, let me tell you this. It was nothing. And it's been silent for a long time. And it came back a little bit later. I'll talk about that at some point. And that's when I knew, I'm doing something I'm meant to do. I have to be doing this for a reason. And so I kept working on this book. And so in that video, he talked about finding these people. He went out and he sought these people. Physically went out and sought them. Pretty long travel, you know, like state to state. I don't know where he lives, but he went to many different states, I'll just say that. He said 9 months of that. And didn't find anything. And that's where I was like, I sought these people. I sought this experience. I sought the people that would aid me in my quest. But I never really looked for them. Like I knew, like there are people that are meant to help me. But I never sought them out. And as I look back, I ended up finding them anyway. I found 2 guys, 3 guys, kind of 4, because he helped for a little bit and he helped get the ball rolling. That all helped me, but they came to me. That was the weird thing. I didn't look for these people. They literally appeared in my life. And I was like, "Oh, you're here? Hey, I'm working on this. Do you want to help?" And they're like, "Fuck yeah." And that's what it was for me. And my whole life up until today, I thought, well, the only reason that happened is because I'm lazy. When I have to do something, I'm like, I don't feel like it. And then finally shit comes to me because I'm how lazy I am. And then it's like, all right, fine, fucker. We'll bring them to you. Now do it. That's kind of what I thought. I was just a lazy person. Things would be better if I tried harder, but I don't have a really good work ethic. I'll like work really hard for a little bit, but then I'm like very inconsistent. So I just kind of threw it up to that. Like that's why they came to my life, because, you know, God or whoever the fuck wanted this to happen. He knew the people existed. He's like, he's not looking for them. Fucking asshole. I guess we gotta bring them to him. And then, you know, that's how that went. And I did find people, and they did help me with the book, and they made it grow to such a height that I could never imagine. And now I'm sitting here working on a novel that I've been working on since 2012. I don't know how many years ago that is. It's 2024 now. You do the math. I'm not good at math. That many years of constantly working on this book, and then one guy has been a part of it for 11 years. I think it's been 12 years. That sounds right in my mind. 12 years I've been working on it. 11 years, one guy's been helping, and the other guy 10 years. That to me, like, I'm mind blown about that. But I feel so sorry that someone had somewhat of a similar experience and they had a similar goal and a project and something that was divine was sent down. At least it felt this way. I'm not saying it is or isn't. I can understand how it feels like that. And it all kind of didn't go. What was the major component for me to help me stay focused on this? Because all along the way I was met by a lot of darkness, inner darkness, and a lot of turmoil, and a lot of unknown. and a lot of just, it was really hard. It was really, really hard. Somehow the people that came to my life that walked in it, and then I took the effort, okay, let me word like this. These people in my life, from my wife to my three friends, and a recent friend that I have, and some of the other ones along the way that I don't speak to anymore, they all came in my life, but I had to jump. Do you know what I'm saying? Things will present themselves to you, but they don't hit you. You have to go and get them. It's like, man, I really need my phone. And all of a sudden it's floating here, and I'm like, well, I need it. And then it goes away because I didn't grab it. I have to actually grab it. Take the opportunity, seize the opportunity. Because I did that, they were the ones that guided me through this. They kept me sane, they kept me level-headed, and I had my moments. I had, I've been to the psych ward. I've been, luckily not very long. I've had a, really hard time at certain points. There was always this looming darkness over me. Looming. Very heavy, just huge weight wanting to come down on me. And it just was, it didn't, like for me, it wasn't like voices saying negative things. It was negative sensations about self that I agreed with. You're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. Well, yeah, I agree. I do fucking suck. I am this, I am that. That's what it was, but I really just kind of, again, I'm just lazy. I just ignored it. You know what I mean? I'm the kind of person that's so lazy that I could be depressed and suicidal, but I'm just too lazy to go do something about it. I'm like, whatever. Like, shit'll happen eventually. It's just like, that's how I thought my life was. I'm just very non-reactionary. Like, I react, but when it comes to things like that, I don't. I just kind of hang out, if something crazy's going on and I'm meant to do something, I just like sit there and look at it and like, I don't know, what am I supposed to do about that? And then all of a sudden shit'll just kind of work out. It's just been weird, like, in that sense for me. It's been strange to say, I've had this journey of this book that felt divine and like a higher being wanted me to do this, and I've been doing it, and I found the people to help me, and I found stability. I have my own house now. This is my home. I have a steady job. I was able to do this steady, and the huge thing that made it possible is not once did I ever dip into drugs or alcohol. I actually hate alcohol. I really don't like it. It's disgusting. I didn't even have to go through being drunk all the time, or having bouts of these months of heavy drinking. I never really did. Again, it was just pure laziness. It was just, I drank it, it tasted like shit, and I was like, well, I don't want to continue to drink this and get up a tolerance for shit. I want to drink good things like pop. So my addiction was sugar, right? Sugar and caffeine. I love pop. Coffee's whatever. I'd rather have a pop in the morning. That's my only big addiction, is pop. Or some people call them soda. Now, that's been the biggest thing in my life that kept me so level-headed. I never allowed drugs in my life. There was a period of a year that I was smoking weed, what I would consider pretty heavily. And there was some interest in that. There was I was having revelations. I was having interesting times, and what I thought was creativity bursting. But then I got sick of doing it because I didn't like the taste of it. Again, it's not like I've always been like a staunch, I did this and I did that because I have integrity. It was more of laziness and I just don't like how that tastes. I'm not going to do it anymore. That was it. You know what I mean? It was never any kind of hard, rigid, I stop because I don't want it. I just didn't like how it tasted, so I didn't do it anymore. And I thought weed tasted disgusting. Makes me want to throw up just thinking about it. I don't like that smell. I don't like that taste. It just, maybe it triggered something in me, in my deep psyche, this is wrong. You should not be doing this. This is not okay. Same with alcohol. The smell of it, doesn't matter if it's beer, wine, liquor of some descript. Or is that all the alcohol there is? I don't know, mead? I don't know. But it all just stunk to me, and when I tasted it, I'm like, man, it'd be good if it didn't have that alcohol taste. Why do I gotta drink something that tastes like mouthwash? It doesn't taste good. And people are pretending yes, this is delicious. Yeah, because you're an alcoholic. But for me, that's what it was. And I stayed out of drugs, stayed out of alcohol. Even in my darkest time when I was alone, I had nowhere to go, I had nowhere to live, I had nobody. Even then, I still didn't turn to it. I remember talking to myself saying, like, no matter what happens, no matter how dark this gets, no matter how hard your road may be, we're not going to touch that shit. We don't need that. You need to feel this. I remember it was either me or it was a voice telling me when I was at my lowest point, I had nothing and nobody, and nothing, and not even myself. I didn't even have me, you know? And I was like sitting there under this tree. I did smoke cigarettes at the time, and I was smoking. I even hated that. I just did it anyway, though. I was sitting there smoking a cigarette, and all of a sudden, I just felt like, you need to feel all this. I know that there's a part of you that might want to escape from this. I know that we think that alcohol or drugs might help us, but we know they won't. And you need to feel this. You need to have every bit of this experience so you know exactly why you feel the way you do. And I said, okay, fine, fuck it, I guess. And so I did that. I allowed every little fucking thing to hit me. And that's one of the negative sides of just being a sober person. 24/7, raw dog in life, as they say. Or as my wife says. I don't even know if that's a saying. I just think it sounds cool. Is it makes you have to hit everything. It makes you have to feel everything. It makes you have to analyze everything. And there's no getting numb. There is none of that shit. It doesn't matter how hard it gets. You got to feel it all. And it does suck a lot of the times. But what else are you going to fucking do? You know? At least in my mind, it's like there is no other alternative. You must feel. And I just think that in my life I've been rewarded in that fact. That I've been granted a reward by continuing down this journey. Now, it's not like I want to suffer all the time, because believe me, there's days working on this damn book. I don't want to do this. It's tough. It's too much. It requires so much thinking. It requires so much planning and creation and all this shit. It's tough. It's so fucking hard to do. And I don't want to suffer every fucking... It's not like suffer. It's just I'm lazy and I have to work. I want to lay around and do nothing. You know, that kind of suffer. Like first world problems. And so that's kind of been the hard part, is just like continuously doing this fucking thing that I don't necessarily want to do. But then if you take it away from me, I'm like, well, okay, I'll do it. You know, whether that's addiction or something else, I'm not gonna, I don't know. Some could say, yeah, because you're addicted to suffering. I don't know. But it's been definitely a journey, a very big journey. And I feel sorry for, you know, this guy where I was speaking of, his channel is called Love Holocron. I feel sorry for him. That his journey was quite opposite of that. And when I listen to his story, his videos, which I've seen just about all of them, when I listen, I kind of think in my mind, I think you still have this gift, and I think it is a gift. It just doesn't feel that way. I think you are meant to aid in something. I don't know how to explain it. I really don't know how. In my mind, it's just like empathy. When I hear people and I'm like, no, you don't have to explain yourself. I know exactly what you're talking about. Or, you know what I mean? Like when they tell you their story, and they might feel a little bit like, well, I don't know why I thought this. And I've always been like, what do you mean you don't know? I know exactly why you thought that. That makes complete sense to me. I can't explain why I feel this way. Even with complete strangers, I can just be, I don't know, I just don't judge. You know what I mean? I know that's a common saying, but I really don't. I just kind of listen. And just kind of like, yeah, of course. Like I'll live it with you for a moment. Let's go together. And I find some kinship in that. And I kind of feel bad for someone like that, because I'm like, man, you do have a gift. And you are meant to do that. And you have done it. And it has inspired somebody. So that's kind of cool, isn't it? Even if it's just a crazy guy like me, you know? Weird, introverted, fucking spazzy kind of person that I can't help I am. It's given me a new light. It's helped me. It's made me think, fuck, I have to double my efforts. I have to get going. This person in my life is like a sent emissary from the other world. I know that sounds weird, but I don't know how to word it in any way that everyone would understand it. But in my mind, I'm like, this person came to me at a certain point in my life, and I found that, and now I'm guided forth on my journey. Sometimes they send people to aid you, and just because you fall in some way, shape, or another, either from your divine path or your personal path, doesn't necessarily mean it was wrong. I don't know for other people, but that's just what I've gathered in my life. I could just be way off. It could just be like, yeah, that's for you, but not for everyone. I don't know. Because I won't want to tell someone how to live their life. I do know how to live mine, in a sense, but I barely do. But yeah, this is just kind of a video I wanted to make, just in a reaction to that guy's journey so far in life. You should check it out. The videos, I mean, they're very personal, they're very good, and then he has sections and chapters, I should say. He has chapters of his book he was working on, and as I listen, I'm like, yeah, that, I don't know how to explain it, man. Like, the book that he said he was working on, you listen to it, and at least for me, I'm like, yeah, this is my new Bible. Okay, cool. We fucking don't have to go searching for one anymore. Thank God, it's there. So, like, that's what I think about it. I don't know. But maybe not everyone would think that way. Everyone has a different mind. But to me, it's divine. Anyway, we'll go on to the next one and we'll see what we can uncover.